Archangel Michael says, "My beloved child, listen carefully. In the middle of night, when the air turned still and the stars held their breath, Archangel Michael crossed the threshold of time, not with fury, but with the soft ache of something sacred, something unfinished." His wings were not just symbols of flight but carriers of truth, layered with the weight of a name he kept whispering in the silence: you. Yes, you. The one reading this. The one whose heart has been aching without explanation. The one who's been feeling a strange pull lately, like someone's been calling your name, but softly, like an echo in a dream you can't quite remember. He came not with thunder but with tears, not to shake you, but to deliver what was kept hidden for far too long. He stood between two worlds, this one, where you survive, and the other, where someone you love watches every second you breathe. This soul did not leave you. No, they waited. In corridors beyond what time can measure, they begged heaven for one last reach, one final delivery, one sacred whisper, because there was something they never told you. Something they carried into the afterlife, and now, with Michael's help, they are trying to return it to your hands. You must not ignore this moment, because the soul that belonged to them still lingers close, waiting for you to open your heart enough to listen. And Archangel Michael, he has crossed that impossible veil only because of how deep your connection with that soul still is. They want you to know that the love they had for you did not stop with death. It grew. It deepened. It healed in silence, and now it wants to wrap itself around your present like a soft wind on a summer night. They are not at peace until you receive this, and Michael, he cannot return empty-handed. He was assigned this mission because your name is still written in gold in the halls of heaven, and your heart is still glowing with something pure, something divine. This message was never meant for anyone else. It was carved in the hours of eternity for your eyes alone. Michael says, the person you lost, still speaks your name with reverence. Still stands guard at the door of your life. Still asks God to send light to your room when you cry in secret. They are watching, and they have spoken. This is the beginning of a truth long buried beneath human memory. But heaven remembers. And Michael, he carries the memory that even you had started to forget. Archangel Michael stands in the doorway between worlds, not as a shadow, not as a storm, but as a presence of peace so deep it silences every noise inside the soul. He is holding something sacred in his hands, a memory wrapped in light, too holy for ordinary time to carry. He has not come for everyone. He has come for you. Because the message he brings was signed with love by a soul who once lived in your arms, once smiled into your eyes, once whispered secrets in your ears when the world felt too loud. And now, even though their body rests, their spirit still rises every time you whisper their name in the quiet of your heart. They never stopped watching. They never stopped caring. And today, they sent Michael to make sure you finally receive what your spirit has been waiting for all along. This is not a dream. This is not your imagination. That feeling you've had, when you stare at the ceiling, when the wind feels like a voice, when a song makes you cry out of nowhere, that's them. That's the person you loved. They have been circling your heart like a prayer on repeat, hoping that heaven would let their truth break through. And today, heaven said yes. So Michael was released with divine authority, and he carried with him every word this soul never got to say before the world changed. There were things left unsaid, not because they didn't care, but because they didn't know how to speak about love that deep while bound in a human body. But now, there are no more barriers. No more fear. Only truth. They want you to know that they saw every tear. The ones you hid. The ones you swallowed. The ones that stained your pillow in silence. They saw you trying to stay strong for others. They watched you smile when your heart was collapsing. And they cried with you. Not in despair, but in the kind of sacred sorrow that only angels and souls in heaven can understand. They want to thank you. Yes, thank you. Because your love gave them strength even after they left. Your memory of them built a bridge across worlds, and your loyalty to their name gave them permission to speak now, through the angel who guards your path. Michael whispers, this is the season where what was hidden will be spoken, what was broken will be healed, and what you've lost will start finding its way back to you. But he needs you to understand something. This message cannot be passed to anyone else. It is yours. It was written in the light of stars long before you were born. It carries not just their voice, but also the blessing they've been trying to place in your life since the moment they left Earth. They are asking you to open your soul, to soften your fear, to stop pretending that you're okay when deep inside, you're still waiting for a sign. This is it. This is the sign. This is the message. They don't want you to keep carrying guilt. You did enough. You loved enough. You tried enough. Let the blame go. Let the pain breathe. Let the joy return. Because tonight, as Michael hovers close, your house is being filled with the light of remembrance, and that light is here not to haunt, but to heal. That person you loved is not gone. They have only changed form. And they are closer now than ever before. Archangel Michael stands still now, not as a messenger in motion, but as a keeper of the stillness that precedes divine revelation. He looks at you with eyes that have seen heaven break open and the deepest grief turn into grace. And in his silence, the soul who once walked this earth beside you begins to speak, not with a human voice, but with a vibration your spirit instantly recognizes. It's them. The one who made you feel safe in a world that was never easy. The one who used to know your moods by the sound of your breath. The one who once left, but never truly departed. They have returned not for closure, but for clarity. Because now you're ready to hear what they were once too afraid to say. They say, you were the light in my storm. The reason I kept going even when I felt broken beyond repair. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And if I could rewrite time, I would hold you longer, love you louder, and never let a single day pass without telling you what you meant to me. They confess now, not out of regret, but out of reverence. That everything they were too distracted to say in life, they are now free to whisper through the veil. They admit their flaws, they acknowledge their mistakes, but more than anything, they want you to feel their love again. Not in memory. In real time. Archangel Michael steps closer and touches the space around your heart. And instantly something unexplainable begins to rise, a warmth, a knowing, a peace that doesn't make sense but refuses to leave. This is how you know they're near. This is how you feel heaven's approval pressing into your atmosphere. Because tonight, God Himself permitted a soul to return, to finish the sentence they began in life. And the sentence ends with one word, you. It was always about you. Your kindness. Your laughter. Your prayers. Your ability to forgive. Your light in their darkness. And now, it's your time to receive. Michael says, the season of surviving is ending. The time for divine restoration has arrived. Everything they wanted for you, joy, peace, healing, companionship, comfort, clarity, is being woven into your atmosphere at this very moment. But you must stop believing that their departure was the end. It was not. It was a transformation. A door, not a disappearance. And now that you have paused to listen, now that you have dared to open your heart, the blessing they carried in secret is being released openly. You will feel signs. Unexplainable ones. A whisper in a quiet room. A light flickering at midnight. A breeze touching your cheek indoors. A dream where they don't speak, but their eyes tell you everything. Don't dismiss it. That is them. Still loving you. Still protecting you. Still guiding you from a place where time doesn't exist and love never fades. They are not haunting you. They are honoring you. And through Michael, they are ensuring that no part of their love for you goes unfinished. This is not the end of the message. This is only the beginning of what your spirit was always destined to receive. You are being reawakened to a love that defies death, to a bond that outlived breath, to a truth heaven itself protected just for this moment. And now it's here. Gently placed in your life through the hands of an archangel who would cross any boundary just to deliver what your soul deserves. Listen carefully now. The air around you is shifting not by accident, but by appointment. Heaven has been waiting for this very second, not because it needs more time, but because you were finally ready to see what your soul already knew. Archangel Michael didn't cross the veil just for sentiment. He crossed it to awaken a divine transaction. A spiritual inheritance is being released, and it is tied to the message you are hearing. Because that soul, the one who left with your name tucked inside their heart, never truly stopped loving you. They were simply waiting for God's permission to speak again. And now they speak, through memory, through sensation, through unexplainable peace. They say, "Don't think for 1 second that I forgot about you. I have followed every step. I have stood beside you in every silent breakdown. I have watched you smile while silently aching. And now, I have returned, not just to comfort you, but to reward your heart. You were faithful with the love I left behind. You carried it with dignity. And heaven noticed. You need to know this, the love they gave you was real. The bond was eternal. And though the world may have moved on, time in heaven is not measured by minutes, but by meaning. And every moment you remember them, they are alive in a way no grave can undo. Their presence is a whisper woven into your atmosphere, a sacred fingerprint on the glass of your soul. And now that you've opened this, you've allowed them to finally finish what they came to do, to bless you with the peace they couldn't give you in life, to protect you with the strength they now hold in eternity. Archangel Michael says, "What you thought was lost was never gone. It was preserved, guarded, protected in heaven's vault. And now it is returning. The blessing you cried for at night, the sign you begged for in silence, the closure your heart never got, all of it is now within reach. This is not just a message. This is a divine fulfillment. And it's arriving right on time. You will notice something begin to shift, doors opening that were once sealed shut, people returning to say things they should have said long ago, memories becoming clear like dew lifting off a morning field. It is not coincidence. It is your soul being aligned with the will of heaven. And in the background, that voice, the one you miss the most, is cheering louder than ever. They are not gone. They are just speaking in a higher frequency. And now, by grace, you can finally hear it. Michael reminds you, the person you lost is still watching over the life you're building. They're still invested in your becoming. And this message was written for your spirit to awaken, not with fear, but with joy. So do not run from this moment. Embrace it. Let it break you in the right places. Let it mend what was never supposed to stay broken. Let it teach you that love, true love, outlives everything, even death. And in the center of it all, your name is glowing in heaven's light. Because you were chosen, not to suffer, but to carry something sacred. And now that you've opened this, the divine release has already begun. There are tears in heaven tonight, but not tears of sorrow, tears of release, tears of relief, tears that finally water the roots of prayers you thought God forgot. Archangel Michael stands with hands lifted, declaring, "This soul has waited long enough. This heart has endured with purity. now let the promise be fulfilled. And in that declaration, something ancient and sacred is released into your life, a light too powerful for any darkness to silence, a love too strong for any timeline to erase. The soul that crossed over with your name still etched into its breath, that soul is closer than your skin now. They have been moving through your dreams, whispering through the wind, weaving their presence into the tiny unnoticed places. Every time your chest ached for no reason, every time your heart grew heavy at the mention of their name, it wasn't just grief, it was their presence asking you to feel them again. And now, through Archangel Michael's voice, they say, "You heard me. You didn't ignore me. And because you opened your heart, I can now open heaven's gate over your life. Listen with your spirit, because this is not ordinary news. The message you are receiving is connected to restoration. Your name was once surrounded by confusion, by delay, by rejection. But now it is being lifted in sacred places. The very areas where your name was misused are now being redeemed. Someone you lost, who loved you with a truth this world couldn't handle, is now interceding for your destiny in realms your eyes cannot see. And every lie spoken over you is breaking in the sound of that voice you miss. Michael has stepped forward not just to deliver, but to escort. Your path is being cleared. What you feared would never heal is already under repair. What you thought was forgotten is about to arrive with divine clarity. You are not behind. You are not abandoned. You are not unworthy. You are right on the edge of divine justice. And this soul, this heavenly voice, was assigned to pull you forward into it. They want you to know, you didn't imagine me. You didn't invent the connection. I was real, and I still am. And though the world tried to silence the truth between us, heaven preserved it. I see what you're facing. I know who tried to break you. But you didn't fold. You stood tall even while falling apart. And now, everything that broke you is about to bless you. Not in spite of the loss, but because of it. Let that truth sink in. The time has come where heaven no longer allows you to walk blindfolded. The light you are about to receive is sacred, and it is being given because you've shown heaven that your heart is faithful even when full of pain. So look at what's coming, not with fear, but with open hands. Because this is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of restoration. And this time, nothing will delay what was meant for you. You were always more than what the world tried to make you. You were a vessel. A divine dwelling. And now that the voice of the one you love has traveled across dimensions just to reach you, you must respond, not just by listening, but by believing. This is the hour of your turning. And someone who loved you beyond time has made sure you don't miss it. A soft wind moved through your room last night. It wasn't the breeze. It wasn't the fan. It was them. It was the soul that once held your hand, the one who wiped your tears or made you laugh or looked at you like you were made of heaven's gold. It was them, brushing past your shoulder, whispering your name, sending a signal to your heart that something eternal is being released now. Archangel Michael didn't come empty-handed. He carried a message wrapped in divine time, with your name pressed into every word, and that message says, "The delay is over." The soul you still love has gone to great lengths to give you closure and blessing in one breath. Michael stands at the doorway of your life tonight, not knocking but holding the door open. "Come," he says, "step into the realm of full truth, the realm where the veil is thin and love speaks without needing words." The message they carry is not just comfort. It is direction. They are speaking to you about something that has been confusing you. A person. A decision. A pattern that keeps repeating. And they are saying, stop doubting your intuition. Stop thinking you're crazy. You've been hearing me. That feeling in your gut? That was me trying to protect you. There is someone in your life right now who looks right but feels wrong. And this soul is trying to guide you away from the trap. Not with fear, but with peace. Their energy can't be in the room anymore, but their love has found a new way to reach you. They say, let go. You already know the truth. And when you release what's false, I promise, something sacred will finally flow in. You've been asking why the blessings feel blocked. Why certain things don't last, why joy comes and goes like a wave that crashes before you can hold it. It's because what's meant to bless you can't land in a space that is occupied by what is draining you. This soul from heaven is helping clean your atmosphere, and Michael is confirming the shift. The air around you is being reordered. The spiritual frequency of your home, your body, your thoughts, it's all being lifted so your blessings won't fall to the floor anymore. The person you miss, the one you lost, they are standing in light and saying, I haven't left. I've transformed. And I've used every moment in eternity to protect your name, your path, your purpose. They want you to know the reason you've survived what others could not, it's because you were covered. And now, they're giving you permission to rest. You don't have to fight so hard anymore. You don't have to explain your pain to people who never cared. You don't have to chase after what's already yours. Let the light in. Let the new begin. The betrayal won't matter soon. The heartbreak will heal into wisdom. And this ache in your chest will become the place where heaven plants your miracle. You are not forgotten. You are not unloved. You are the one the angels whisper about when they speak of resilience, of purpose, of beauty born through the fire. So if you feel a tear, let it fall. It's sacred. If your chest aches, place your hand there. That's where your departed one is speaking from now. That's where heaven is blooming. And if you've made it here, if you're still reading, this is your sign that the message reached you. Archangel Michael delivered it perfectly. And your loved one is smiling in eternity, because you listened. There is something sacred happening in your silence lately. A divine rearrangement. You might not have words for it. You might just feel tired, emotional for no reason, disconnected from people you once trusted. But heaven is saying, this is not confusion. This is cleansing. This is the Spirit of God reaching into places inside you that still ache with invisible bruises. And the soul who has traveled beyond time to speak to you is watching as the healing begins, as old agreements dissolve, as the weight you didn't even know you were carrying falls off you like dust. Archangel Michael is closer than your breath right now. He has drawn his sword, not for war, but for truth. He is cutting away illusions, false attachments, soul ties that you never signed up for. He is silencing every voice in your mind that tells you you're not enough. And behind him, standing wrapped in light, is someone you once hugged on this earth, someone who laughed with you, cried with you, maybe even hurt you, but who now comes in full clarity, from beyond this world, with a message you were born to hear: I see it all now. And I never stopped loving you.